Hey guys, it's Kelly, and as you can tell by the title of the video, this is my conspiracy theory video that I briefly touched on about Jesse's, videos, like what he's been doing. So yeah, if you guys have been watching my videos, especially reactions, I've said how I think all the marriage stuff has to do with like in his head, and like it's like, So to understand this video, I recommend watching my other video that I did like a year ago-ish, maybe 2 years ago, where I talked about like I have a theory about his characters. So I feel like to understand this, you might want to go watch that one, and then it will make a bit more sense to you. But pretty much what I think, the theory is like he has depression and he has multiple personality disorder. And I know guys, mental illness is a serious thing, and I'm trying to make fun of it or whatever. But there's a lot of things, words that came out of his own mouth that I'm about to show you clips of that shows you, of him pretty much saying it and just insinuating it a lot. So here we go. So pretty much I have clips from his videos from 2017, from the first several side, and then from his recent videos. Because 2018 after Envy, he really didn't do much with it. He did videos, but nothing much to do with the mirror. 2019, yeah, he did the camera and stuff with the devil, which, So yeah, anyways, here we go. It's probably going to be a bit of a long video, so stay tuned. I worked really hard. It took me probably 4 hours to get all these clips together and stuff, to watch videos and stuff. So please, for that sake, press the like button on this video, and please subscribe. Because I work hard in these types of videos. The mirror theory. So pretty much starts off. It all started from the video snap out of it. That video at the end there, where it shows Jesse, as you can see from the clip, shows Jesse in the sex series room with the mirror on the wall. He ends up snapping them one more time, right? And he ends up going into the mirror and all that. This is pretty much where it all begins, in a sense. But so yeah, so it all begins. It goes into the mirror, and that's how we get Isaac, subsequently. But
wow, fuck you, dude.
And yeah. And also too, in that video, earlier in that video, they were going to see the wizard, which is Dame Drops, the wizard, to fix his snapper. And Parker was saying in the car, he said, about, pretty much you've seen the clip, but he said, asking Jesse if he was depressed. When asking, saying like he's depressed or like he has multiple personality disorder, Parker was saying that. And he also a few videos before that one, back to 2017, and it showed in the thumbnail him having the freaking string around his 2 fingers. He was gonna trying to rip them off and like doing all these crazy methods and all that. And Parker was gonna ask him like if he's okay if he has depression. So it has been insinuated. Next, in the rebirth of Mcjuggernuggets, when Jesse comes out the mirror when Jeffrey destroys it. You remember that video? If you guys watched them, you know what I'm talking about. So you can see he comes out the mirror, but it wasn't him. It was the devil, the creator, whatever you want to call him. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. And then he was talking about 6:15. Oh, that time. So in that same video too, afterwards, he was talking about how Isaac made changes to his body, got the tattoo, got the black hair, and how like Jesse adopted those changes. But because Isaac is Jesse, and that's like a personality for him. So when a personality, like for anyone who has descendant of like identity disorder. I forget what it stands for, but DID, which a personality thing. When you have multiple personalities, if one personality comes out and does something to your body, you're absolutely gonna have it, because it's all the same body, it's all the same person. It's happening to just different personalities, with the mind, it's a mind thing. But yeah, so that explains too why he adopted the changes, because obviously Jesse kept claiming too that he's not Isaac. Isaac's like was a whole different entity, a whole different person. But obviously from that, him adopting the other things, it's just all in his head. It's a manufacture of Jesse's mind, of his depression. Like I said, if you watch the character theory video, it makes sense. So that I didn't know. Anyways, in the video too, there's nothing from this, but if you no. In the video about his mom, when his mom, was in the hospital, when she had her issue with her intestines and how she had the emergency surgery, So Jesse and Julie went to go see her, visit her, and then like he turned into Isaac for that split second. There's other instances and videos too, like on the North Carolina trip and videos, where like he would turn into Isaac for a little while and then turn back. So that was the thing in that video, because it's he has the disorder. So when you have a personality disorder, you can pretty much go into any character at any time. That's how it works. So that explains that too, why he kept going in and out of Isaac at random times or in random spurts of time. So, and then he didn't know what happened. That happened too. I know. I've seen a bunch of stuff on D&D, so I do have a bit of knowledge on it. Just from seeing stuff. So, and people tend to not remember what happened when you go out, go into another personality, because it's like you black out in a sense. But anyway, so yeah, that's that. So yeah, pretty much, the devil, created the characters, because guys, a thing, like, we gotta look deeper into this. It's not, the mirrors, it's not the devil, it's what they represent. They all represent something. Like the mirror, all the different mirrors that have all those different characters represent different personalities you have, and the devil, it's like the bad guy in this is like the disease, the multiple personality disorder itself, and he's represented as the devil. Like, watch. You'll see as we get further into this, but so yeah. And the devil is actually the host personality. The host personality is the person, so like, let's say for example, I had it. Me, myself, my normal personality is the host personality. Like Jesse Ridgway, Jesse Tyler Ridgway, that's the host personality. And he has like the Psycho Kid personality, Sergeant Jackson, Isaac. But Jesse himself, he's the host. And I believe that the devil is actually Jesse himself, in a way, in a sense. But anyways, then in the video when, talk about Parker leaving the channel, talk about he insinuates his adventures, he created it all. I kept saying that he created it all that, so you can see there, and then this next video has so much in it. I recommend go watching this full video called The Creator, Jesse Ridgway, so go look that up. 145 to 152 talking about, saying he admitted it pretty much, he was depressed after Psycho series, and also too in this next clip, talk about that and talk about how that's where Isaac came from. It was like a manifestation of his depression. The next, and then he was talking about how when the
mirrors have been shattered, and therefore I've lost a couple parts of my mind, and I don't like that very much.
It was shattered. It shattered his mind. It shattered like parts of his mind. And that again because they're still in his head. It's the ID personality disorder. It's depression. And he's talking about too in that video. You guys seen all these clips, but this is like the only story. It's only been one story. So it's been the same thing for like the last 11 years. That obviously it's like 13 years now. Well, I don't know about that, but as of 2017, 11 years from then. Since you started YouTube, all that stuff, as you can see, said that.
As old as the channel itself. Actually,
he also said too, interesting, Devil Inside connects everything. Connects all his series. Because think about it, the Devil Inside is, mental disease, and that's what all the personalities have came from, all the different series. Which is all his different personalities that he's like trying to show us what they're about through these series. If you think about it, but what else? He was saying that too about, how he has multiple personalities, talk about all his characters. So he's, in this video, he admits like pretty much to it, so. And those gems too that we saw in the first Devil Inside, I believe, this is all theories, true, that this is how he's going, but it makes sense. Like those gems that it showed him holding in the video, in that one video, those gems represent the medication. To help him fight this DID, right? Just like Jesse dressed up as that Mirror Man, was the real Jesse trying to fight against his demons, or this, identity disorder he has. What else? Yeah, and the devil is the key to defeating the illness. So the devil is the illness, and that necklace that gives him power that he wears, that is the trauma that Jesse went through. Because when you have DID, it's usually some sort of trauma you went through. You know, that's why you develop it. Any sort of mental or bipolar, schizophrenia, it's usually when someone, you know, either goes through something traumatic in their childhood or something traumatic in general. And that's the necklace. And that's why the necklace, if you saw, we're getting to more in the theory, but that's why it kind of almost represents the key to finding, because he has to figure out what happened to him that made him develop this illness. And he has to defeat it once and for all. In the video stream, he's in Storyfire. I didn't even write anything down for that quote, but what was it? Oh, that's to do with the gems. He was holding the gems and he burnt his hand. Because he was the devil, and the devil is the disease, and the medication what is going to defeat him, right? That helps the disease. I mean, the disease doesn't like ever go away, but you can control it in a sense with medication. And that's what gems represent. Because that's what the devil represents, is the illness. So, yeah, really. Okay, and this, the end of the devil inside the first one. Devil Outside Part 2. You know, Jesse was saying, as you see, when Jeffrey shouted that Mara Burgess, it shattered his mind, and he let the demons take over and all that. You see, I recommend, guys, go back and watch these videos, because it will really make you think now, especially when I went back to watch them. It really made me think, like, it makes a lot of sense. What's next? And then he also said too how the gems are the key to stopping the devil, because the gems are the medication to stop his illness. Like I said, you gotta look deeper in this, guys. You gotta look at what all these different things he's been doing represent, what the mirrors represents, what the devil represents, gems, everything. Every little thing represents something. And then also too, but then he ends up saying, because the devil was the full-blown devil, because, you know, he looked like it, had the makeup on, Jesse as the devil character. So now he was saying, because he's full-blown devil, the gems, you know, are useless now, because meaning the disease is in full effect, so those meds are not strong enough to help him now. He needs to, you know, find another solution, get stronger meds, in a sense. Points. So, yeah. And then, this is just like another thing which I'm not sure, it's just me maybe pulling out, but when Devil destroyed each of his characters, it's because he's pretty much what he's doing, because all these other kind of, you know, characters' personalities were kind of good in a sense. You know, Sergeant Jax was a good person. Psycho Kid was, you know, he was a good person, he was just kind of another person that was struggling with stuff. And, you know, his other characters, like the clone character, all that from his past stuff. But now what the devil's trying to do, now he destroys Mel, because now the depression is starting to take over, which is Isaac, as he stated in that video on the creator Jesse Ridgway. He said that Isaac is the manifestation of his depression, so now that's what's starting to little by little take over, and the representation of the mirrors being smashed is him starting to lose those good parts of him, in a sense, you know what I mean? But anyways, so that's that. And pretty much because the devil, you know, kind of created Isaac, because it also is making him depressed too, dealing with this disorder, so that's kind of depressing him as well, having to deal with it, you know, in a sense. So it makes sense if you think about it. So, and even the devil too said, when, you know, Jesse, the mailman, aka Jesse, shot him at the end there, he said that he's temporarily conquering, because the devil ends up coming back in 2019, so temporarily. And again, and then after he definitely turns the devil into, you know, the gem, snaps his finger, the devil just turns into a bunch of gems, which again represents the strong medication he's on to defeat the devil for now. But, you know, medication, you know, sometimes, but then down the road, as we see, the medication kind of not takes effect, so maybe he stops taking it in a sense, and that's why the devil was able to come back, like the disease was able to kind of come back and become strong again. And then now we're getting into his recent stuff, like the whole door thing that he talked about, he saw in his mind in the Spiritual Awakening video from last year. The door is like the answer. The door is because, okay, the devil is the answer to defeating this once and for all. And the devil you know, is behind that door. So once he's opening the door, he'll be able to get to the devil to finally defeat him. As we'll see when we get there. And that box that he has that he got from Colorado too, is the box just kind of has the key into finding the devil to defeat him, and what he maybe like what he needs to defeat the devil too. You know, and that's why he thinks it's all a simulation, because it's really just everything's in his mind, but he doesn't realize that yet. And as you can see too in the picture here, the whiteboard with everything drawn out here, you can tell like the devil necklace is the key, because the necklace represents why he got this in the first place, why he got sick in the first place, and that's what he's trying to figure out. So that's what also made the devil stronger, which is the disease stronger from this trauma that he's went through. So now he has to figure out what that was in order to try to maybe help himself to get better, to figure out what caused him to get this way in the first place, right? So in the video, you know, Dad steals food from quarantine. I recommend watching that one because there's a lot in your renters too, and talking about the box and showing flashback clips. So I recommend watching that too to get more info on there. The video, we found something in Psychopath room when Jesse got hurt from the whole marrow thing. You know, he saw the flash and he got the bloody nose, and he was saying too after he got the marrow out that he was, you know. And he also said he's been messed up ever since Jeffrey destroyed the mirror.
Is that when Jeffrey,
you know,
as destroyed it with a sword?
And he still saves our man in pieces, because those broken pieces represent Jesse's mind being shattered and him having to put it back together in a sense. Then in the video, Psycho Dad destroys Eagle Landing. The mirror breaks. Remember, they showed Psycho Dad in like the Psycho's world.
But it's not just
he destroyed the mirror on the wall, which was the mirror Swift had in the tent, and it affected the dad and Jesse, because the dad has it too, because he has, you know, himself, then he has Psycho Dad, and he has Joseph from MVE, so he kind of has it too. No, that's right, Jesse's able to control the people inside, because they all have it, because they all have different parts of them, all have the different characters in a sense. So that's why he's able to control them, and everything that's happened in his videos is kind of everything he's manifested in his mind, and he's able to control these people because of it. What else? Again, then his very last video he's uploaded, the key. He said to Swift, the devil and their devil and his truth are the same thing, because his devil is his mental issue, and that's why. And that's his truth to finding out about. He needs to, you know, talk to the devil to figure it out, you know. And because he says it's their devil, because to them, because, you know, when he's that person, he's mean to them, so it's like they think of him as this devil, this, you know, scary, mean person, you know, when he's this devil, when he's, you know, when this disease is taken over him. Anyways, so yeah, there's that. And then at the end of the video, showing the devil saying that how no character can kill him.
Boogie's house.
You know.
Boogie.
And I think that's what we're going to see now, like Jesse's finally killing his devil, finally killing this disease, and getting better now. He's finally going to figure out how to, you know, finally conquer it once and for all. You know. And I think that's why too he's taking this break, because this break
fractured my mind. It's never left.
You know, it's him probably finishing writing the series how he wants it to go. Like,
but it's not
remember
just
he did that with MV back in 2017. He took that break pretty much like all of August. You know, he took a break. He did not upload. And he came back the 23rd of August because he had finished writing MVE and all that. That's what he's probably doing here again. But you guys understand where I'm coming from, how they all represent, like, it represents pretty much a mental illness Jesse's trying to conquer, and he's temporarily conquered it before, but, like, keeps coming back. So now we're going to finally see if he finally found, like, the answer in that box to finally conquer the devil, so he can figure, you know, and that's what the necklace is, the key. You know, that's why it's, you know, he calls it the key, because, you know, to figure out what happened to him, that trauma, he has to, you know, figure out that trauma and figure out how to, you know, deal with it once and for all to help himself. So I think that's what everything represents. I know you guys, like, I went deep into this, but think about it. It makes sense. Like, you saw these clips. He said a lot of this stuff from his own mouth. Go back and watch these videos because they're interesting. And, you know, you guys probably remember this notebook. because I do have the character theory written down in here. Go watch that. Pretty much their summary. I think all his characters represent, like, you know, a part of him. Like, Psycho Kid can represent his angry side. Isaac's his depression. You know, like Sergeant Jackson could be like his tough side, you know, and his logical side, and stuff like that. So, what do you guys think? You guys think there's something to it? You guys think that it's a cool theory? But don't you guys think it kind of makes sense now? Like, looking at these clips and other stuff I said, like, it makes sense if you think about it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm curious to what you think. Follow me on my socials, follow content, subscribe to Josh, subscribe to Mcjuggernuggets. Doing another video after this real quick. It's not going to be as long and really have much in it. It's going to be a quick talk about the state of YouTube and state of Storyfire and all that. Also, I heard Leafy lost his YouTube channel, got terminated. I know what that's like. And guys, I know you guys, you know, hate on YouTube, but he obviously had to do something. You're not going to terminate a channel for no reason. And this dude had like 4 million subscribers, so I'm like, not much more than Jesse, so I can just terminate a channel for no reason. So I don't know. And I heard, and Leafy has been known to be problematic. Like, there's been a lot of shit on him. I've seen videos, like, I think one of these videos said, like, he did racist stuff. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. Like, I know he started beef with other YouTubers, talking trash on other people. I've heard stuff like that about him. So it's not like he's this spotless, perfect, you know, YouTuber that's done nothing wrong. He's done a lot of shit in the past, so, you know, it's not sparkle. But he is on Storyfire now, so good luck to Storyfire having him on there. I'm not saying he's necessarily a bad person. He could have changed. It's just stuff I heard. But anyway, so if you guys enjoy, follow me with social content, because he's doing a lot of the editing. We're both doing hard work for this video. I had to get all this stuff, which took 3 hours. Now he has to do the editing, but I gave him all the clips before I recorded this video just to make it easier. But I love you guys so much. Subscribe to Josh, subscribe to Rich, me, #GetPeach, subscribe to Chat Self, and subscribe to me, because I've been working hard on this. And it's, you know, it's a hard thing. Anyways, I love you guys so much. My randomness, and I will see you in the next video. And yeah, subscribe, guys. Continue to grow. And I will see you next video. Peace.